Hey guys, it's Kristen and Andrew, and we are with the Life on the Iremonger Coast team. And today we are out and about on Okaloosa Island. We're going to show you 4 different units, 4 different condos, and 4 different price ranges, and 4 different number of bedrooms. That's how we're going to say it, right? Yeah. So a studio, a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and a 3 bedroom. So if you didn't think that you could afford a condo on the beach, this might actually prove you wrong.
And we're going to jump right into the very first one here in about 2.5 seconds. I just want to remind you guys to make sure you stay until the end. We are going to be giving little tidbits of advice at each condo. So if you are considering condo life here in Florida or here in the Emerald Coast, then you definitely want to stick around because those little nuggets are going to be very, very valuable. Let's go.
Let's go.
Ooh. She loves me. Not like that.
Stop yet.
Not yet.
Safety. That's messing my head.
She's skilled. It takes me way too long to open up a Supra. That's what those little boxes are. Ooh. Welcome to our first condo of our little tour here today. It is the Breakers on Okaloosa Island. Funny story about this one. I've sold on this island for a very long time, and this is one of the few big complexes that I was not able to get into for like the first 6 years of my career. But it's a very cool complex. They're very tight-knit here. The HOA is extremely tight-knit. They're very strict on the rules. So if you're a stickler for the rules, you kind of like everything being in order, everything being nice and tidy, the Breakers is a great solution for you. This one is a 3-bed, 3-bath, and it is about 1,700 square feet, a little shy of 1,700 square feet. So let's go ahead and take our tour. Now, as we're walking around, you're going to notice that there's no furniture in this one. That is not going to be the case with the next 3 condos that we are shooting today. They're all going to be furnished, and most condos are generally furnished, and they come furnished as well. Now, when you're buying a condo, keep in mind that just because they come furnished does not necessarily mean that's going to be wrapped up in the appraised value. Now, here in our area, we're very fortunate that most of the time when they appraise a home or a condo, they're a little bit lenient with that, but not all the time. So it is considered just kind of an addition whenever they leave the furniture. So don't necessarily expect that they're always going to be there, or you're not going to have to pay anything for them, because if the appraised value comes in at, let's say it's a $400,000 condo and it comes in at $380,000, but with the furniture it's $400,000 because they've got $20,000-$30,000 of furniture in there. Just keep in mind that you may have to pay cash above that. That's pretty rare in our area, but it is something to consider as well. So let's take a look at the first bedroom right here. Very well spacious, and it's got its own bathroom, which we like. So we get the second bedroom. This one does have a bed in it. The note said that it didn't come with any furniture, so I'm guessing that they're still in the process of moving out, but there is a good chance that they might be leaving it. And it does happen. Keep in mind that around 90 to 95% of the condos that are short-term rentable will come fully furnished. If you don't like the furnishings, that's fine. We just negotiate it out. And a purple bathroom. Now on the breakers units, they do something really well that a lot of condos don't do, and that is the additional closet space they have all over the unit. So we've got one just to your left right there that a lot of people will usually put in a washer and dryer in. Oh, yeah, they've already got it in here. So here, I'm gonna let you do your work there. And then let's sneak on over to the kitchen. Got a couple of different options for a pantry here. We've got this one set up as a pantry. I'm assuming this one is too. That is generally how a lot of them are set up. Sometimes they'll put a lock on one of these. If you're an owner and you want to keep, alcohol in here or food for the next time that you're visiting the unit, then a lot of them will lock that just for that so that none of their guests use it. Check out this kitchen, pretty cool. Now you probably can't see behind me because of the light and the way the camera is, but while you're in here working, cooking up for the family, cooking up for your friends, your guests, you're gonna have this amazing view, which we're gonna see here in just a moment. And that is just a big, big backyard, or back balcony there. Lots of windows, which is super cool. Then of course you've got your very large living space. We've got a couch in here for reference. Again, not sure if this is specifically coming with it, but this is a lot bigger than most of the condos you're going to go with, which is one of the reasons why the breakers is so desirable. Probably why when these were coming on the market, they were flying off so quickly that I couldn't even get in here. I remember a couple of years ago, I had 2 different people trying to get in this specific complex, and every time something would come up, it would be gone so quick. It's like they already had buyers for it. Just kind of frustrating, but now I see why. I mean, it's huge in here. Let's go take a look at the master.
Another closet.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, Kristen. So yes, you've got a nice little spot here for whatever you want, but what I've seen a lot of these units do here at the breaker is they actually take out this frame in general with the doors and they put a bar here, like a little wet bar, because you can connect it to the water because it sinks right next to you. So super cool little thing if you wanted to do that. You've got a nice bar, make yourself a nice Dr. Pepper or margarita, and then head outside and see. Oh, the water's so good today too. I can't wait. Okay. Look at the size of this master. We could play football in here. I mean, it wouldn't be a very fun game to watch, but you could do it. And then you also have the door out to the balcony, so that when you wake up in the morning, you can literally grab your coffee and walk right outside, which would be weird if you had coffee ready already, but you get my point. Let's take a look at this master bath. Oh, you kind of slide in there, Kristen. You got hers and hers right on the left and right side. All right, and to the moneymaker. To the moneymaker. To the moneymaker. All right, these hurricane doors.
They're heavy.
Now you can see some of the activities they have down below. You've got bocce ball, you've got a pool, and of course you've got this amazing view.
You're trusting the camera thing?
Yeah, I trust it. So we're just gonna wrap it up there. I'm gonna hang out here, and no, I'm just kidding. All right, come on. So keep in mind with these hurricane doors, Some of them are heavier than others. This one is a pretty sturdy one. Not all of the condos are this sturdy, but as you can see, there's a lot of window space here.
He's just saying that because he's weak.
And we have to go upstairs later, so you're going to hear me huffing and puffing. Not at this condo, but a different one. But a couple of things to note. Yes, they're heavy. And make sure that you're checking the lip when you're out visiting these, or if you're going to come here to visit or stay in a condo, because some of these are pretty, I think I locked it already. Anyway, there's a lip down there, okay? So just watch the lip, and I'm going to walk off now.
So this unit was listed at $939. And the rental projections, because it was not used as a investment property for them, they used it full time, or it was their second home. I'm not sure, but their projections was $70,000, which I think is a little low. Like,
that sounds a little bit low.
Yeah, I think
me.
they could easily be in the 8s to 9s pretty quickly.
Especially if you make this thing pretty cute, put some good decorations and stuff up. Yeah. Although keep in mind, your first year, whenever you've got a condo like this, it hasn't been rented out, you're going to be a little bit less than you normally will because you're still building your clientele. In fact, it generally takes about 2 years to start getting people that are coming back regularly, because that's what a lot of these people do. Yep. Is they come here to rent out a condo and then they book it. Like as they're sitting in the condo, they're booking it for the following year, which are really good people that you want to constantly be renting from you.
So quick tip, if this is a unit that you would purchase and it wasn't rented before, invite your friends and family to stay for a discount or something like that, in lieu of, or as long as they write a really good review.
Yes, smart.
So, yeah.
A few moments later.
Okay, so he's not a weakling.
Go ahead, Kristen.
Well, I think you broke it. It's not even moving.
It moves. It barely clicks. I think it's down is unlocked. I feel so much better about this. I feel way better about this now. Like I really do. This is so good. You got this. I believe in it. Here, let me try. Oh. Oh no.
See, it wasn't just me.
There we go.
Oh, there. Okay.
Ta-da!
Okay guys, so we're at Tiki Beach Condo. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit, and we're gonna take a look around. It's highly updated, it's super cute. And one thing I wanted to talk about was that this is what's called a low density condo. It's only 3 stories. There's probably about 30 units, which is nice if you don't like those big, huge, lots of people type units, complexes, because you're not gonna get that here. So let's take a look around the unit and then we can chat again later.
Look at this. It's crooked. Silly. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Look at this. You could be working. Now we have it closed right now, but you could be working at this desk with a full view. Yeah, we gotta open. We're opening it. We're opening it. Don't worry. We'll show it to you. Oh my gosh. It's Kristen pretending to work, but check out that view. You could be working with that view. I know you probably can't get it right now because of the light and stuff, but oh my gosh.
So this one does have, I actually didn't look, is it tile? No, that's LVP flooring. Here's your first bedroom in the front of the unit. And that's where your HVAC and your water heater is. And then your first bedroom, or your only bathroom, you've got a little owner's closet. So even though this is only 1-bedroom unit and it's a low density complex, you still get indoor or in-unit laundry, which is pretty nice. Your kitchen, and then it opens up into your family area. I can't talk today. They have a super cute table.
Oh my gosh, it is cute.
Oh, you can add to it. They do have a pull-out couch. So this is one thing we haven't talked about. A lot of units will do the extra pull-out couch in the family area or living area to add those extra 2 people. So sometimes they're comfortable and sometimes they're not, but you can add 2 more people. So this would technically sleep 4, which is really good for rental. Then this unit is on the Gulf. So you get these amazing views.
The money maker.
Yeah. So one thing we didn't mention was this unit is listed at $499, which is pretty good for being on the water. But the better thing is that the rental income for the past 2 years, we're right about $56,000 to $58,000. So just like we talked about, you want that 10 cap, so the 10% of your purchase price, at least that's kind of like the money spot to be in your gross rental income. And this one far exceeds that. It's way better. So there you go.
I kind of just want this unit just for the workstation, you know? I mean, the view's nice too, but that workstation and this table is awesome.
It is cute.
That's the first time I've ever seen like a table. This is actually our sand and it looks like stuff that they have gotten while they're here. You can open it up and add more to it. That is so crazy to me.
But let's talk about how trusting these owners are. There's no way I would put this in an investment property. Because if you got, let's think about this, right? Let's role play here for a second. I come in here, it's a 1-bedroom unit. Chances are good that it's either going to be like a couple with a small child or maybe 2 couples traveling together. If I'm that couple with that small child, you know darn well they're going to stick their hands in here and now there's sand everywhere, which is also why they've got LVP flooring. But still, this thing's going to get messed up along the way.
Probably also why they have this like
The little jute mat.
yeah, because that captures the sand really easily.
But it's super cute though. The unit's very well decorated.
Oh my gosh, this is cool too.
It's really bad being real estate agents because we see all these cute things and then we try to like, I don't know if you have, but I have like taken it off the wall to see if there's still a sticker. It's always Hobby Lobby every single time.
Hobby Lobby knows how to decorate some condos.
Yes.
I still like this. I think I already pointed this out. It's all crooked. Yeah, it's hard to tell on video, but it's crooked. While Kristen's out there grabbing some extra footage for our short form, our short content that we have, which by the way, we do have if you want to follow us on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube shorts, we do a bunch of short form videos. So if you guys like these videos with like little hints of, you just want to see short form really quick, just follow us on there. But I did want to point out one thing that we haven't talked yet on these condos. When you have this back door open on any condo, be very careful about also having this front door open because it creates a vacuum. And if the wind hits it just right, it will slam this door really, really hard. So very early on in my career, my first mentor and me were showing condos to somebody and he did that. We had it opened. He decided to go outside to take a quick call and he opened the door. He took his call. Everything was fine for a few minutes. He came back in and it tried to slam shut on him and he tried to catch it. And it caught the tips of his fingers, broke 2 or 3 of his fingers and cut the tips off 2 of them to where, it wasn't very much that he lost, but he ended up losing a portion of it. So please be very careful. If you've got the back door open, make sure that the, front door, you guys are being careful of it and don't try to catch it. If it's going to slam, let it slam.
So another thing that we wanted to talk about, which is an expense, it is a one-time expense. Both of them are one-time expenses when you purchase and then when you sell, but are new buyer fees and estoppel fees. So for the new buyer fee, it's going to be a one-time fee when you purchase the unit, and it's basically the HOA charging you to set up an account for your unit. Something that's good to know because it's happened to me, and the first time I had a buyer purchase another unit in the same building, I'm like, oh, you won't need to have that buyer fee attached. Oh no, you do. Yeah, you do. It doesn't matter if you own 10 units, you're going to get a new buyer fee for each unit because like I said, they're setting up that account in their system for you as that owner for that specific unit. Now, It could be anywhere from $150 up to about $250 is really the highest I've seen. I don't know if you
at least here on the island, generally $250 is the most that we've seen here on the island. Once you get into Miramar Beach, Destin, if you guys end up purchasing out there or considering a purchase out there, whatever, some of those can be higher, especially at the resorts. Some of them are a percentage of the purchase price. So that could get very expensive when you're already paying, you know, $500,000, $1 million for a condo, and then all of a sudden it's a 2% buyer fee. You know, definitely something to consider.
Yes. And that new buyer fee is different than the fee that some owners have to do where they're putting towards the capital of the unit. So those are two separate. So those, just keep that in mind as well. Not all units, not all complexes do charge that, what's it called? The capital fund fee.
Yeah.
But they don't all charge that, but it is different. So keep that in mind as well.
And we can run all that stuff for you. We'll talk about it at the next condo of, you know, some extra stuff there, but we can always run these numbers for you guys.
And then your estoppel fee is that one-time fee when you sell your unit. So that is basically the HOA confirming to title company that they do not owe any more dues, that they're paid in full. And it is also, from what I'm understanding, it helps transfer everything over to that new buyer.
That's absolutely correct. Did we have anything else in here?
Nope.
Let's go to the next one.
So we're at the Islander. This is our studio condo. It is 480 square feet, listed at $320. Come on in. So this one's had a little bit of updates. You'll see some granite countertops. They've done some of the big system type things, the HVAC and the water heater, and then some of the furniture, so kind of get an idea for all the things that you could do with it.
So super cool little view here. This is a side view at the Islander. If you guys have been to Okaloosa Island before, you probably recognize the name. The Islander is one of the more popular ones. And what we've got right next to us is actually public beach access. So nobody will be building for this particular one. But this is a little studio, so it's not, you know, obviously it's kind of a quick walkthrough. And that's the main portion that we have. Now, the Islander itself has some pretty cool amenities. It does have, let me get that light here real quick. There we go. So with this one, you've got the covered parking, which is something that only about 50% of the condos here on the island have, which is a good thing. And of course, a great pool. You've got the great views. And what's unique about the Islander is this one is actually split into two separate buildings. So that's why this one kind of feels like a hotel, is because it actually used to be a hotel. So the second building they purchased, I don't remember if it was in the 80s or the 90s, and they turned this entire hotel into condos. So a lot of these, like what you're seeing right here, is just a studio. But then a lot of them have pushed out this wall right where Kristen is. Yeah, thank you, Miss Vanna White. And they've pushed out that wall and they've made two separate areas. So on one half of the hotel, you will have the bedrooms and another bath. And then on the other one, you'll have another half bath and the kitchen. They've taken the kitchen out on the other side. And then even some of them have a small laundry room in between the two bedrooms, which is super cool.
So with this unit, since the whole video is how much can you make on a property here on Okaloosa Island, this one grosses $34,000 to $38,000 over the last couple of years. Now, had they updated more of the unit so that it was a little bit more modernized, you could see up to about $50,000. Those are through different rental projections through different rental companies. So you could definitely make some decent money on these little units, even though it is only a studio, because a lot of times people would rather spend a little bit of money more than a hotel room because you do get that kitchen access.
So this is the covered garage. It used to have individual spots for each owner. Looks like they've taken that off of the parking spaces, so I'm not 100% sure if that's still the case or not. But check this out. And then you've got your public beach access right there. let's go to the next one.
All right. So one thing we wanted to talk about was pet policy for the different condo associations. Most condos allow owners to have pets. There's usually some kind of breed restriction, unfortunately, or weight restriction involved, or how many you can have. Usually it's 2, but there are some that you can only have 1. But some of the things we want to talk about was, 1, most places do not allow tenants to have pets. They have to be leashed. You have to only let them do their business in certain areas. But I wanted to read the pet policy on some of the things for the breakers, because it's pretty strict, actually. It's one of the strictest ones I've seen so far.
Yeah, the breakers is strict on a lot of their stuff, but it is a very highly desirable condo. Yeah,
and with rules, obviously, it makes the area a lot nicer. It's well kept, all that good stuff. But so here we go. So one of the things, where to go? You have to register your pets, 1, and then you get a little blue tag, and they have to wear the blue tag at all times when they're on the property. The other thing that I thought was pretty interesting was if your unit is on the rental program and you have your pet in your unit during a visit, you will be charged the amount that is charged to the breakers to deodorize and neutralize your unit back to a non-allergenic condition. So even though it's your unit and it's your pets, if you have it on the rental program, you still have to have it deodorized, whatever that means. So that's the first time I've seen something like that. Usually it's if it's your unit, your pets, YOLO.
And so what they're trying to do at the breakers is make sure that there's a standard set, so that if your dog smells a little funky or has that little bit, because they're managing it at the breakers, they don't want to have that inconsistency. Now, the breakers just happens to be one of those complexes that has kind of a lot of those rules. Now, the one we just saw is not the breakers. Keep that in mind. This is the Islander. It's a little bit more relaxed in that front. And a lot of them do have a lot of restrictions on pets, particularly with sizes of pets. So even for the owners, just keep that in mind. If you got a big pup, your limit or your options are going to be just a little bit limited.
Yep.
All right, we are headed to our last one, which is Island Princess. We are in the garage right now. This is a 2-story garage, and they do have numbered spots for everything. So keep that in mind if you are purchasing in a complex like this, that you'll have your own. And it doesn't matter because you can't hear me from all the construction. They're doing a bunch of work. Oh, this is another great example. So, they have stuff going on. So a lot of times we are doing this in December of 23. A lot of times they take the snowbird season, and that is when they're going to be doing all their work. So they're doing a bunch of work on the garage. It does have covered garage for all of the owners, and then at the second floor is for more guests. They've got some guest ones around as well, as you saw a second ago, with all of the stuff that they're doing downstairs. So one thing I did want to mention, this particular complex, this area gets busy on Saturdays. Saturday's a big turn day for us, is what they call it. That's where old guests are leaving, new guests are coming in. As of right now, it's snowbird season, so it's obviously, pretty easy. But in the summer, this can get hectic. You're waiting for an elevator. There's only a couple on this complex, so keep that in mind. So it's hard to tell, but that is actually the second floor of the garage that they are in the middle of repaving, it looks like. They've also just repainted a lot of the building. Okay, we are here in Island Princess. Now, generally we would shoot outside, but as you guys saw, they're doing a bunch of work outside on the garage. It's beeping, it's loud, but we did want to show you the inside of this unit. It's a 2-2, it's 1,100 square feet at Island Princess. For those of you that have been on Okaloosa Island here in Fort Walton before, you'll recognize the name. It is another very popular one, just like the last one we were just at. And let's go ahead and take a tour. We've got our laundry room right when you walk in. And this is actually pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they're living in this one full time. I can tell by the way they're set up. We've got a little cat door down here. And this is generally reserved for your owner's closet. So as you can see with this one, it is open. You can actually see what the inside of an owner's closet looks like, which we don't normally get to see, which is super cool. A lot of times if you're using these as a rental, and this is your AC unit, it's kind of dirty, but you get your AC. And this is actually a really big water heater for a condo. A lot of times they're going to be underneath the sink in a bathroom. but they're still going to warm for quite a while. All right, so we've got 2 bedrooms here. This is a side unit, okay? So Island Princess is kind of very similar to the last one we have, where it's kind of like an L, except this one's an attached building, unlike the last one we were at where they're 2 separate buildings. So as you'll see here in a second, you've got a great unobstructed view, but it is a side view, so not a full view. And then you've got both bedrooms right here. We've got the guest bath, and then on the other side, the master has its own as well. Take a look at the master here. Oh, never mind, take a look at everything else and then the master here. This one does have a walkout as well. So you wake up in the morning, you want to instantly get your Emerald Coast fix. You have it right there.
I'm kind of glad it's too bright right now for the camera to see, because that's the best view.
Ah, that's unfortunate. You'll see it in a second.
Yeah. This one has a really nice owner's closet here. Or I should say owner's suite closet. You don't usually see one that's got these nice built-ins. And then a really nice tiled shower. Again, you don't usually see these in rental units with them being this nice. And this one, they actually do not use it as much for a rental.
Just imagine the naps you can take here and wake up to this view.
There we go.
It never gets old.
Nope.
So we do have another public beach access next to you, which means this is not going to get obstructed. On a lot of these condos, if you see something next to you that is empty, they might have to put in a different condo. Somebody might purchase that and block a little bit of your view. Now, what's really cool about the island that we didn't really talk about yet today is the restrictions. So as you'll notice when you come to Okaloosa Island, all of the buildings are not high rises like you see in Destin or 30A or Miramar. 30A doesn't really have as many high rises, but you get my point. They're limited. So they're limited to 75 floors, or 75 feet here, which is 7 floors at the most on Okaloosa Island. And that is a military restriction because the military still technically owns this strip of land. It is land lease back to everybody, although you can buy out that land lease. They're not interested in keeping the land portion itself, but they still want to keep their restrictions because a lot of what they do is they fly over here. In fact, when I was active duty, we would do them every Friday. They were called Friday morale runs or beach runs, and we would fly just 300 to 500 feet over the water here, dangling my feet out the back of the airplane. It was really awesome, but that's why everything is limited here. So super cool that you've got the public beach access. You've got this view. It never goes away, and you shouldn't have any issues. All right, hopefully that it kind of looks crooked, but anyway, guys, so the rental numbers on this one are $62,000 per year, which is super cool because this one is still technically a 10 cap, which is basically you're renting out for 10% or more than what the condo is selling for. So this one is listed at $605,000. The reason why that's important is because it's getting harder to find those right now. Since COVID, the prices kind of went up a little bit. The pricing has not fallen in line quite yet. Condos typically fall a little bit behind in most cases, but in this case, they've caught up now, and now the pricing is normally higher than the gross rentals. And then, of course, the Airbnb market is a little bit lower than it has been in the past couple of years, although that's rebounding now. So we're all starting to even out, but it's cool to start seeing properties in this range now.
Yep. Another thing we wanted to talk about was special assessments. So in case you didn't know what that was, any HOA, whether it's a condo or a neighborhood type community, can levy special assessments. And what that is basically a one-time fee, or maybe it's spread across a couple of years, but it's an extra payment that's above and beyond your normal HOA dues. In this case at Island Princess, they did a special assessment for the balconies, for repainting the building, for the parking lot. So they had one big levy that they did, and then they're spreading out the work, though, pretty much throughout a whole year, it seems like. There wasn't too much details on this one, but what I do know is that it did affect their rent, or the rentals, I guess you could say, from I'm going to cheat and look down, for 2023 and the beginning part of 2024. So they did have it almost cut it in half. For their rentals for 2023 compared to 2022. So they went from 62,000 to 38,000, simply because during those renovations, they weren't allowing any rentals. The owners could use them, but they couldn't have any extra tenants just for safety reasons. So those are things to think about when you do purchase a condo, is that there can be special assessments, and depending on what they are, it can also not only affect you financially as far as the payment, but it can affect your rents.
This is very, 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 very important that when you guys are purchasing a condo, whether it's in our area or any area, that you have an experienced agent on this, because if they don't know that these special assessments are coming up, they are hefty, they are expensive, and they need to be paid. You don't have an option. If you do not, they can actually foreclose on your property. Like, they can take the property from you. So just keep that in mind. It's super important. So one of the things that we look for, and one of the things that we do, is looking into the financials, and then also look at the meeting minutes.
That's what I was going to say.
So if you're not purchasing here, you're purchasing somewhere else, and your agent's not as experienced, make sure you're looking at that. If you're buying in the state of Florida, they have to give you any information that's in meeting minutes that have officially started. If there's any talks about stuff that are not officially in a meeting minute, it's just talks. They're actually not. They're not required to tell you, which is really weird because we're a full disclosure state. So that's one thing that you really, really, really need to take care of. And let me give you a quick story. We had some folks that they had contacted me. They ended up contacting another realtor. We were going back and forth. They used another realtor years ago. This is years ago now, at a condo here on the island. And this person did not know that they were doing assessments. They ended up going with that other realtor for whatever reason. It was a family friend or whatever. And they purchased this condo at, I think it was like $350,000, something like that. And within 2 months later, because they didn't do their due diligence, they got hit with an $89,000 assessment. Keep in mind, the condo was only $350,000. They got hit with an $89,000 assessment, a $18,000 or $19,000 assessment, and an $11,000 assessment instantly within 2 months. They started fire selling off a bunch of these condo units over there. So now the units that were going for $350 were selling for $250. That's how devastating this is. Now, don't worry. Take a breather. I'm not trying to, discourage anybody from purchasing them. They can be cash cows. They can be very, very good investments, but you just have to be careful and get a knowledgeable specialist for that, which we have right here.
Oh, and right here. And all the other people on our team, because it's one of those things where if you don't know what you're looking for, and you don't know to look at those meeting minutes, or you don't know to look at past sales to see, hey, were there special assessments like that the seller paid? Maybe it was in notes or something. We need to figure that stuff out. So that definitely helps, because $89,000 on the 300. Whoa, that's a lot.
That's really big. And then, of course, like Kristen said, when they're doing stuff, you're losing that rental income, so you're not even getting to recoup it. So if you guys are curious on what the full cost to own on something like this is, you can go and reach out to us. All of our information will pop up on the screen, because I know in this video we're just mainly going over the base rental numbers, and that's not what you would actually be netting. And just in essence of time of the video, we didn't want to drag this out with every little number, but we do have spreadsheets we can send you guys. If you guys ever see something that you're interested in, you're like, hey, can you guys run numbers on this projected? We don't have a crystal ball, of course, but we can get it as close as we can to make sure that you guys are making a good investment.